this video, we are going to draw this cute kawaii illustration of an adorable strawberry in Procreate. During this easy step-by-step tutorial, you'll get familiar with a lot of useful features like QuickShape Tool, assisted drawing, clipping masks, alpha lock, and blending modes, and learn the basics of drawing in Procreate. By the end, you'll not only draw an adorable illustration you'll be proud of, but also feel super confident using Procreate. And now, let's spend some time drawing! Let's begin by deciding what kind of canvas we are going to be using. Today we're using a standard square canvas that you can find in Procreate. Both our pixel width and pixel height are set at 2048 pixels, our DPI are at 300, and our color profile is set as sRGB with this low number. When it's all done, hitting done, getting redirected to our new canvas. And now, to start with our illustration, let's just go to the description and download all the materials mentioned in this tutorial. When you did it, let's firstly go to our layers. We will go to the background color layer and we will go and select the color with the title background. When you did it, let's just go to our color palette. We are going under colors right here, so we will see all the names that we have for our colors right here. And let's just go and start by selecting the color with the title red. When we did this, let's just go to our brush library, we'll go to the calligraphy folder and we will choose monoline brush. When we did this, let's just go to our canvas, let's set the size of our brush something around 7%, and let's just go and create a perfectly round circle. To do that, we will just need to go and create a shape to our liking. We will hold it at the end with our Apple Pencil, and you can see that we snapped it to an ellipse, but we will need a perfectly round circle. So let's just hold one of our fingers on the screen and snap it to a perfectly round circle. You can adjust the size by moving your Apple Pencil while you are holding it from side to side, and when you have the result like this, let's just lift up everything that we are holding right now. When you did it, let's just add the color inside just by dragging it from this icon on the top. When we have this, let's just do the following. We will go to our arrow key, we will go under uniform method, and we will go under snapping right here, and we will turn on snapping into the settings. When we did it, we will just need to go back to our canvas, hold our Apple Pencil at some blank space, and we are going to be looking for these two orange lines, one vertical and one horizontal. When we found them, we know that we are right at the center, and when you did it, let's just tap on our arrow key to get back to our canvas. Now, this doesn't look like a strawberry, so we will just need to go and turn on one option that Procreate has to help us to build our shape. Let's just go to our range icon, we'll go under canvas and we will toggle drawing guides. These cells are not the option that we need, we will just need to go to edit drawing guides and go under symmetry right here on the bottom. When we have just one line like that, let's just hit down over our top right, and let's just go to our layers and we will see that this layer where we have this pink little shape is now assisted. That means that we will be adjusting our shape on both sides evenly by adding some elements and just by adjusting it itself. So when we have everything set in that way, let's just go again to our little tools right here on the top. We will go under Magic Wand tool and we will go under Liquify. On the bottom, we have a lot of options here. We just need to use the option push, and we'll be going to the size slider and we will be making it a little bit bigger. Let's just zoom out our canvas just a little bit and we'll be going to this little shape that we have here and we start sculpting it. So let's firstly go and just move it a little bit down to create this nice shape on the bottom. And basically what we need is to go and start sculpting and creating the shape of the strawberry. Let's just make it a little bit more rounded over the top, and equally just go to the sides and create the nice overall shape of the strawberry. So you can just spend some time here and create the shape that you like. You can go back to the size slider that you have on the bottom and maybe adjust it a little bit to precisely go to some areas and adjust them to your liking. What we need is to create this very rounded shape like that. And if you need more time to just spend here and adjust your shape, just take your time, and when you are ready, let's just hit this Magic Wand tool one more time, and when we have the result like that, let's just go to our layers and we'll create one more layer on top. When we have this layer, we the same way want to use our assisted drawing, so let's just tap on this layer and let's select drawing assist from the list. When we did it, we will go to our color palettes and we will select the color with the name face. When we have this, our size of the brush is the same, around 7%. Our brush is the same. With this new color, we will just go to the middle part and we will create a little heart here. So let's just step a bit from the top and let's just go over one of the sides and we will start creating our shape. You can go with one line and create the shape like that. If it's not perfect, don't worry. If you have some elements that you need to erase or adjust, go to your eraser, create nice connections between the shapes and pay more attention to the outside line rather than the inside part. Make sure that your line doesn't have any gaps, and when you have the shape that you kinda like, let's just do the same thing as we did before with dragging and dropping the color inside. When we have this shape, let's just take a look at it from the distance and decide whether we want to adjust it. If we want to do that, we will do the same thing as we did with our strawberry, going back to our adjustments, go into our Liquify tool, push option, and adjusting our shape to our liking. Adjust the size of your pushing brush and go to some areas that you want to adjust and adjust them. Let's just go to this top part and maybe make it a little bit more rounded. And also, if you want to go to the sides and adjust your shape to your liking, just go and do that. Just create a nice shape of the heart that you would like to see here. Spend some time here, adjust the shape to your liking. When you are ready, let's just go and hit our magic wand tool twice to get away from this option. Now, when we have the result like that, let's go and continue creating other details. So firstly, we will be just going back to our layers and we will go to this layer where we have our heart. We will swipe it from right to left and we will choose duplicate. Now we have two copies of the same layer. Let's just go to the top one and we will tap on this little check mark right here to just hide this layer, and we'll be working with this layer that we have on the bottom. When we have it set in that way, let's just go to our color palettes one more time and let's select the color with the name Ice. We will just go and drag and drop it to this area. Now we can go back to our layers and we can unhide this layer that we have on the top, but we are not selecting it. We are selecting this layer where we have this pin card. When you did it, let's just go to our arrow key. And we will go under Uniform Method. We will go to one of the nodes either on the top or on the bottom and we will start adjusting the shape so it is going a little bit beyond the frame of this first shape. When we have the result like that, if you want to precisely work on some other areas and maybe make them a little bit smaller or bigger, let's just firstly go and accept our changes with our arrow key, so just tapping on it, and then we will go one more time under our adjustments and go to the Liquify tool. Now let's again use our push option and adjust the shape so it is some kind of doing the same thing that we have right here on the middle part. So we would be just going and recreating the shape by going a little bit outside the frames. So let's just spend some time here, adjust this shape. You can see that we are adjusting it evenly because we have our Symmetry tool on. When you are ready with this task, when it's not too big and too small, let's just tap on our adjustments one more time. And then we will go again to our layers. We will go to this top layer that we have right here and we will create one more layer on top. Now, when we have the result like that, let's again tap on this layer and let's select our Drone Assist from the list, and then we will go to our color palettes and select the color with the name Lines. Now, let's just go and adjust the size of our brush so you can experiment with it. Now we are going to be creating our facial features. So for now, let's just go with something around 65% and we will zoom in our canvas. We will go to one of the sides, to the middle part of this heart shape, and we will go more towards the side that we have right here on the right or on the left if it's easier for you, and we will just go and put one dot like that. Decide on the size of your brush. If you want to go a little bit bigger with your facial features, you are welcome to go and do that. If you want to maybe find a different placement for this element, try it out a couple of times, and when you are satisfied with the position of these elements and with the size of them, let's just get back to the size of the brush of around 7% or even smaller, and we will go and adjust our eyes a little bit just by going to the sides and adding little eyelashes on the sides. So let's just go over one of the sides and let's create something going in that way. You can again take a look at everything from the distance and decide whether you like it or not. If you want to try it out one more time, just undo it and do it one more time. Find the direction that you like, find the size of this element that you like. Take a look at it from the distance one more time and decide whether you like the overall look or not. If you are satisfied with everything here and you don't want to adjust anything, let's again get back to our size of the brush of 7% and let's again go to our color palettes and select the color with the name Eyes. When we did it, let's just go right between our eyes. We'll go to the middle part of them and we will be creating a little mouth here. So for the mouth, let's just go with the shape like that. Just go into the middle part and creating a shape going up in that way. You can hold your line and the ends and you can adjust the overall shape of it. And if you are still not satisfied, you can lift up your Apple Pencil and you can go to this editing mode on the top. And in the editing mode, you will see that you have some nodes here that you can just go and adjust. Just hold your Apple Pencil on one of the nodes or on all of them and adjust the shape to your liking. You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. You can take a look at everything from the distance to decide whether you like it or not. And when you're overall satisfied, let's just tap on the screen and let's just see what we have right here and whether we want to adjust it or not. So for example, we can go and make our eyes just a little bit bigger, and we can do it again very easily by going back to our adjustments, Liquify Tool, and this time we can use the option Expand. So choose this option, go to the size slider and adjust the size a little bit, and you can go to this little eye, for example, if you want to make it bigger, and just tap one time on it to create a bigger shape. Or you can just go and maybe try it out one more time to make it not that big. If you want to go and adjust anything else, go back to your push option and, for example, play around with the shape of the mouth. Let's just make it a little bit more flat and maybe make it a little bit bigger just by going more toward the sides. When you have the result like that, let's just tap on our adjustments twice to get away from this mode. And then let's just go again to our layers and we will add more details to our eyes. To do that, we will go to this layer where we have our facial features. We will tap on it and we will choose Alpha Log this time. You can see we have this checkerboard around our objects on this layer. That's exactly what we need. We will be adding the additional elements only on the existing areas that we have on this layer. So now with the same red color that we have for our eyes, so the color with the title Eyes, we'll be just going to the bottom of our actual eyes that we have right now, and we'll be creating additional shapes here. So let's just go and create something going in that way. You can hold your line and the ends and you can go to the editing mode and adjust the shape even more. Basically what we need is to create something going in that way. Adjust the curvature if you need to, and when you are satisfied, just tap on the screen to accept the changes and then manually just go to the bottom part and make this element filled in with color. When you have the result like that, let's continue by going to our layers and let's just go and create one more layer underneath this layer that we have for our facial features. So getting back to this layer where we have our little heart and creating one more layer by tapping on the plus icon right here. Now we will get back to our color palettes and we will select the color with the name Cheeks, and we will go and make the size of the brush a little bit bigger than the shade that we had for our eyes. So adjust it to your liking, go a little bit bigger or try it out a few times, and we'll be just going to these areas that we have underneath the eyes and we'll be just putting dots right here. You can see now we are doing it on one side, and if you want to do it equally on both sides at the same time, you can just tap on this layer and select Drawing Assist from the list. Let's just try it out one more time and just position it in that way. If you want to experiment, you are welcome to do it. And also now you can see that we have these shapes that we've created for our cheeks overlapping our shape that we have for the heart. So let's just go to our layers and we will tap on this layer that we have for the cheeks and we will choose Clipping Mask. Now you can see we have this little arrow right here and our layer is clipped to the shape that we have underneath and it's not going beyond the frames. So when we have the result like that, let's just go to our layer with the facial features and we will create one more layer above it. When we did it, we will go to our color palettes and we will select our yellow-green color, so we will be able to create this little leaf part on the top. Now let's just go to this top part and we will start by creating a little shape like that. You can adjust the size of your brush to something around 7% one more time, and we are not going to be creating a big shape right here. We will be paying attention to the shapes that we have for our eyes, and we try not to go a little bit beyond the frames of these eyes right here. So let's just go and start creating the shape going in that way. Over the top, we will create a little shape like that. You can hold your line at the end to create a nicer shape. Again, pay attention where you have your eyes. So with this line, don't go too far from that. When you have this first shape, let's just go and start creating the actual leaves. So firstly, we will go over the top and we will be continuing creating the shape going in that way. Let's just go over the bottom and we will create a few bumps like that of different shapes so they are not too equal to one another. And when we have the result like that, let's just go over the top, over our right part, and let's again continue by creating a shape going in that way. When you have the closed shape like that, let's just drag and drop the color inside. And if you want to go and maybe adjust it in any way with your brush or with your eraser, let's just go and do that. So for example, let's just go to the sleeve that we have on our right, and let's just go and make it a little bit thinner over this side. If you want to go and try out your Liquify tool, you are welcome to go and try it. You are welcome to go and select the push option and maybe try it out by going to some of the areas and pushing them and pulling them and creating something that you would like to see here. Try to create a nice outline right here, and if you want to go and maybe make one of these little leaves a little bit bigger than others, you are welcome to go and do that. Now, when we have the result like that, let's just go away from our adjustments, and then we will go again to our layers. We will get back to our layer where we have our facial features, and we'll create one more layer here. Now, with the same color, firstly, let's just go to the middle part and we'll create a little stem here. So let's just go and create a shape going in that way. Get back to your brush firstly, and then let's just go over the top and let's create something going in that way. You can try it out a few times, and when you have two parallel curves like that, let's just go over the top and create another curve that will close up our shape. Work onto the outline if you need to, and also close the shape on the bottom so we will be able to add the color to the middle part. Take a look at it from the distance, and when you have the result like that, let's just go again to the sides and create two more leaves here. You are welcome to go and change the size of your brush, and let's just go and create something going in that way. Again, close the shape when you are ready with it and drag and drop the color inside. And when you have this first shape over one of the sides, do the same on the opposite side to close the shape to be able to add the color inside. And when you have something going in that way, if you want to go again to your Liquify tool and play around with the overall shapes right here, you are welcome to go and do that. Just spend some time here, try to create equal or almost equal little leaves on both of the sides. Pay attention to the outlines that you have here. Pay attention to the overall look of your leaves. If you still see that you maybe want to go and adjust some parts manually, let's just go away from our adjustments. Let's just get back to our brush and let's just go over some of the elements and maybe try to fix them. So go along the shapes that you have, go and create different outlines here. Just try to create something very, very nice here. And when we have the result like that, let's just take a look at everything here from the distance and decide whether we want to adjust some parts or not. If we want to do that, let's firstly go to our layers and let's select every layer that belongs to our strawberry. Let's just go and make firstly everything a little bit bigger. So when the first layer is selected, we will go and select another layer just by swiping it from left to right, and we will do it with all the layers that we have right here. When everything is selected, we also can go and very conveniently choose the option group right here. When everything is in the group, we don't need to select every layer just singularly. We just need to go to this new group, we will select it, and then we will go to our arrow key, uniform method, snapping is on, and we will be just going there to these nodes that we have in the middle, on the bottom, and on the top, and we will be just readjusting our shape. Let's just go and try to create a bigger shape that we would like to see here, and try not to move it from the center. If you moved it, just go hold your Apple Pencil and find these two orange lines, and when you are satisfied with everything here, let's just go and deselect everything by hitting our arrow key. Now, when the base colors are done, let's move on to adding additional elements here with the different colors. So firstly, let's just go to our layers and let's just start from the very, very bottom. We will go to this layer with our base for our strawberry. We will create one more layer on top. We know that we need to clip it, so let's just tap on it and we will use clipping mask. And also we will go and use a different blending mode. So to do that, we will just need to go to this N icon, and for this blending mode, we will go with linear burn. For the opacity of this layer, we will go with something around 65%. So just move the slider, find the needed value, and when you did it, let's just go to our color palette firstly, and we will go and select this magenta shadow color. When we did it, we also will need to go back to our brush library. We will go to our airbrushing folder and we will select soft blend brush. When we did it, we will go to our slider on the bottom with the opacity and we will set it to something around 20%. If you want, you can go and adjust the size of your brush to something else a bit bigger, and we will start by going to the bottom of our strawberry and very softly we'll be adding additional color. You can see how nicely it's starting to look. We are creating some gradient here, so you can just go with a bolder color or with less color right here. Just try to create nice and smooth connection between the colors, so we don't want to have this blotchy effect here. We just need to not see the transition between the colors when we are creating this gradient. Now, when we have the result like that, add more color to the bottom part, and also if you want, we can just go again to our color palettes and select this dark shadow color. And with this color, very accurately and very softly, we will be going mostly to the bottom right part, and we will be just going there and adding more of the gradient right here. So again, doing the same thing, we are just creating it in a very soft way, not trying to overdo it, trying to avoid this very strong transition between the colors, just going there and adding a bit of the darker color to the bottom part. If you feel that maybe this opacity level is too much and you want to adjust it, you can always get back to your layers, go to this layer where you have this linear burn layer, tap on this little icon and go to the opacity and adjust the value just by going to this slider. You can go bolder, you can go a little bit lower with the opacity, it's all up to you. When you found the level, just tap on the layer and then we will go and create one more layer on top. When you did it, let's just tap on this layer, let's select clipping mask and let's just go to this N icon, and this time we will select our overlay blending mode. For the opacity, let's go with 75%. And now we will go back to our color palettes and we will select this color with the title highlights. When we did it, we make sure that we are using our soft blend brush, the same level of opacity for our brush, bigger brush or smaller brush, it's up to you. This time we will go to this top part and we'll be adding additional color here just by adding again the same gradient that we used before. So just creating this nice effect here, trying to avoid our blotchiness here, just trying to make nice transitions between the color. Going to the opposite side from our shadow. When you are satisfied with the result, let's just go and add the shadow underneath our little flower part right here, not the flower but the leafy part. So what we need to do is to go to our layers and let's just go, and we don't want to go and manually create this shadow, so we will go and create it in a different way. Let's just go and find our layer with this bottom part of this leafy part and we'll make a copy of it. We know how to do that. We will just need to swipe this layer from right to left and choose duplicate. Now, when we have two layers like that, let's select one of them, doesn't matter which one. We will hold it and we will drag it to these layers where we have these shadows. And actually, let's just drag it between these two layers that we have right here. So when you position your layer in that way, let's go to our color palettes and let's select this magenta shadow color. With the magenta shadow color, we will go and drag it to this area, and you don't see it right now, but it is there. You can take a look at it from the layers panel and you will see that it is here and it is recolored. What we need to do right now is to go to this N icon and select multiply blending mode, and for the opacity, let's go with something around 50%. So when you have the result like that, we will need to drag it a little bit lower. So let's just go and use our arrow key uniform method. You can zoom in your canvas and let's just hold our Apple Pencil and we will be just dragging it a little bit down. If you want, you can just move it a little bit toward one of the sides. It's up to you. Basically, we are adding eyeshadows more toward the bottom right part. So you can just move this shape a little bit more toward the right and bottom. So when you are satisfied with the size of this element, let's just tap on our arrow key to go away from this mode. And when we have the result like that, let's continue by going again to our layers. We will go above this layer where we have our highlights, and let's create one more layer right here. Let's just tap on this layer and let's select clipping mask, and this time we will go to our color palettes and select the color with the name white. When we did it, let's go back to our brush library. We will go again to the calligraphy folder, but this time we will select the brush with the title script. And now when we did it, we will be going along the shape of our strawberry and we'll be adding some seeds. You can see how this brush is behaving. The more pressure you are using, the differently shaped your brush is. So you can just spend some time here and adjust the size of your brush. You can go along the shape of your strawberry, and you can see how I'm going along the overall shape, not just adding these little seeds just vertically or horizontally, just going along the shape of our strawberry. Try to not overdo this task, just add a few of these little shapes, and when you are overall satisfied with everything here, let's again get back to our brush library. We are again going to our airbrushing folder, soft blend brush, and we will go again to our color palettes and select this highlights color. We definitely can see that our shapes of these seeds on the bottom are too bright, so let's just go and recolor them. Let's just get back to our layers. Let's just tap on this layer with our little seeds, and this time we will select alpha lock one more time. When we did it, just very softly go into the bottom part and just recoloring the bottom seeds with this new color. When you are satisfied with this task, let's just go again to our brush library. We will go to our calligraphy folder, and let's just stop at the script brush or at the monoline brush. So for example, this time let's just go with monoline brush, and when we did it, let's just get back to our layers and we will start working onto this layer where we have this white part. When we have this layer, let's just create a new layer above this layer. So if you want, you can just hold it and drag it a little bit above this layer that you have for the cheeks. So just hold it and drag it. Make sure that it is clipped. And also, we will just go to this N icon and we will change the blending mode to multiply. For the opacity, let's go with something around 20%. Now, when we did it, let's just go back to our color palettes and let's select the color with the name cheeks. When we have this color selected, we will go to this middle part and we will be creating a shape like that. You can adjust the size of your brush so you can see more clearly what you are doing right here. What we need to do is to go and create this shape like that, that will go along the shape that you have for your eyes right here. So just hold your line in the end, and then let's just go to our editing mode and let's adjust this shape. Try to make it even on both sides, so we will be just needing to go to these little nodes that we have right here and to create the shape in that way. You can go with a more open look for this element or with a more closed look. What we need to achieve here is to create a nice shape, a nice window for these little elements that we have for our facial features. Now, when we have the result that we like, let's just go and do this. We'll be just going outside the shape and just randomly creating the shape that will be closed right here. And then we will be just dragging and dropping the color to this area. Now, when we have the result like that, let's just go and make it a little bit more interesting just by going to our eraser tool, and we'll be just going to the outline that we have right here in the middle, and we will go along it and we will create a few additional elements like that. So again, going in accordance with the direction of this element and creating a few of these little lines like that. Again, try not to overdo it, just add a few of these little lines to add more interest to the picture. When we have the result like that, let's again go back to our layers and create one more layer on top. Onto this layer, we will tap and we will choose our clipping mask. We'll go to our N icon, and this time we will go and select the blending mode with the title darker color. Let's go and set the opacity to something around 50%, and the same color that we are using right now, we will use right here. Let's just go again to our brush library, and this time we will select our script brush, and we will be doing probably the same thing that we did with these little elements in the middle, but this time we will go outside right here. So let's again go in accordance with the shape that we have for our strawberry, and let's just go and add these additional elements in accordance with it. So just go in there, varying the size of these elements. If you want to vary the size of your brush, you are welcome to go and do that. It's all up to you. Just create a few of these little lines going along the overall shape of your strawberry. Just adding enough of these lines and varying their size and making sure that we are going in accordance with the overall shape of our strawberry. Just follow this line that you have for your heart and just create something going in that way. If you want, you can go and adjust the amount of opacity for this layer to maybe make it a little bit more dark, or if you want, you can get back to your previous layer where you have these additional elements in the middle part and adjust it too. So find the amount of darkness for these elements that you prefer, and then let's just get back to this layer that we have for our little shape outside the heart, and let's just go and create one more layer on top of it. Let's tap on the layer and let's select our clipping mask. Now, one more time, let's just tap on the N icon and let's go with color burn blending mode, and then we will go and select either the white color or some light color face or background. It's up to you. Let's just go to our brush library. Let's just go to airbrushing folder, soft blend brush, and also let's just tap on this layer and let's select drone assist so we'll be able to add this color to both sides evenly. What we need to do is to go to some of the areas and we will be just going and adjusting this shade that we have right here. And if you don't see it with the white color, you are welcome to go and switch it to, for example, magenta shadow, and go very accurately to the outside shapes, and you will be adding this additional color right here. Try not to overdo it and try to go with a very soft lines here, again trying to create nice transition between the colors, going to the sides and making some kind of an effect that this shape is inside of our strawberry. If you want to experiment and create differently colored lines right here on the bottom, you are welcome to try out different colors from your color palette right here. And overall, if you want to create the shape right here that will be multicolored, you are welcome to go and do that too. Just try not to overdo it. When we have the nice shape like that, let's continue by going to our layers, and let's just go to our layer with our eyes. We will go and create one more layer on top. We will tap on it and we will choose clipping mask. We will get back to our brush library. We will choose our monoline brush from the calligraphy folder, and we will go to our color palette and select the white color. With the white color and with a little bit bigger brush size, we'll be just going to our eyes and we will add little highlights on top of our eyes. So let's just choose one of the sides and we will go and put the dots like that. If the size of the brush is not enough for you, you are welcome to go and change it. And when you have this first highlight, let's just go and do the same on the opposite side. Just try to put it at the same line and on the same level and on the same side. When you have the result like that, let's just go again to our layers and let's start working on our little leaves here. So firstly, go into this back element. We will create one more layer on top, tap on this layer and select our clipping mask. We will then go to our N icon and select multiply blending mode. For the opacity, let's just go with something around 50%, and then we will go again to our color palette and let's select this cyan blue color. We will go back to our brush library. We will go to airbrushing folder, soft blend brush, adjust the size of our brush, and again going mostly toward the right part of our shape and very softly go in there and adding this additional gradient color. Doing the same with the stem, just going over our right part and adding our little transition between the colors here. If you overdid it, you are welcome to go and either try it out one more time or just go with your eraser or the smudge tool and adjust this shape that you have right here just by smudging it a little bit and making it a little bit less bright. When you're satisfied with everything here, let's just go and do the same with our next layer with our little shape for this leafy element. Let's just select this layer. Let's create one more layer on top, tap on it, select our clipping mask, select our multiply blending mode, opacity at a level of 50 something %. And again, doing the same thing here, just going over the side on the right and adding this additional color here. Nice gradient, nice transition between the colors. If you need to adjust the size of your brush, you are welcome to go and do that. Just create something going in that way. And now when we have the result like that, let's also do one more thing. We'll go back to our layers and we will create the shape, the similar shape that we have right here on the bottom part. So let's just create a new layer. So just creating a duplicate here, and then we will grab these duplicates and we will drag it a little bit higher. We will need to firstly clip it to our previous layer. So tap on this layer and select clipping mask, and then we will just grab it by selecting our arrow key, uniform method, snapping is on, and we will just go a little bit higher and create something going in that way. You can see it right now. Just make sure that you did it, and let's just deselect everything by hitting our arrow key. Now let's just go back to this layer that we have right here, and let's just go and create one more layer above. We will go again with our multiply blending mode. For the opacity, we can go again with something around 50 or 60%, and this time we will go and select this dark blue color. We will go over this bottom part, and very nicely we will just go and add some darkness to the bottom part, and we will create some volume here. Again, just go more toward the bottom part, more toward the bottom right part, and create it in that way. You can make a little transition between the color right here, so it will look even nicer. And when you have the result like that, let's just go and maybe adjust the opacity just a little bit so it's not that bright. Let's just go with 50%, and when we did it, let's go and start adding the highlights right here. So firstly, let's just go and create our highlights right here for this layer that we have behind. So let's just go to this layer where we have our shadow. Let's create one more layer on top. Tap on this layer, select clipping mask, tap on the N icon, and select overlay blending mode. For the opacity, let's go again with something around 50%, and we can fix it later on if we need to. Let's just go to our color palette, select the highlights color. Let's go to our brush library, calligraphy folder, either monoline or script brush is selected. Changing the size of our brush if we need to, and we will go to this stem firstly, and we will be going to this top part and creating a little shape like that. So just follow this little shape that you've created on the top, and when you have the result like that, you can just go and adjust the size of your brush and maybe go and create some texture parts in the shape of little lines or little dots like that. When you have it, let's just go to our leaf right here over our left side. We will go mostly toward the top, and we will be just going to the tip of this leaf, and we will be just going and creating a little highlight here too. If you want to go with some texture parts in the shape of little dots or little lines or something like that, you are welcome to go and do that. And when we have the result like that, let's just go and start adding our highlights to this shape that we have right here on the top. So again, just going over the top, creating one more layer right here, tapping on the layer, selecting clipping mask, tapping on the N icon, selecting our overlay blending mode, the same level of opacity that we used before, so something around 50%. And then let's just go over the top part of the sleeves and do the same thing. So we are just going there and adding our little highlight. Let's just go with the shape that will recreate the overall shape that we have for our leaf shape, and just create something going in that way. If you want to go and maybe add the little highlight right here on the bottom, we can easily go and do that, but we just need to use one more option. Let's just go to our layers, and we will find this layer that we created right here on the top. So this was this layer that we have right here. Let's just tap on it and let's select from the list. Now you can see we've selected this area, so we will be just going to our layers and go into this layer that we have right here on the top, our overlay layer where we are adding our highlights. And very easily we will be just going to these areas that we have right here, and we will be adding our highlight here. So we will be repeating the shape that we have right here, that we have selected right here. And we can just go along this overall shape, and we can create our highlight going in that way. So you can just go a little bit toward the second leaf right here and just create a few highlights in that way. When you are satisfied with the overall shape for your highlights, let's just deselect everything by hitting our instrument icon right here. And if you want to go and add some texture parts in the shape of little sparkles, little dots, little lines, you are welcome to go and do that too. Let's just not try to overdo it and just add a few of them just to create a nicer texture for our illustration. And now when we have the result like that, let's just make it a little bit more interesting by adding more highlights. Let's just go again to our layers, and let's create one more layer on top. We will tap on the N icon, and we will choose our lighter color. And we will set the opacity to something around 75–80%. When we did it, firstly, let's just go back to our brush library. We will use our script brush, and with the same highlights color, let's just go over this area where we've added the additional color over the top, and let's just go and create a big highlight like that. Let's add the color inside. If you want to go and maybe add a few additional dots along the overall shape of your strawberry, let's just go and do that. Again, try not to overdo, just add a few of these additional elements just to add more interest to the picture. If you want to go to your leaves right here, you are welcome to go and do that. Just add a bit of texture parts with this little brush and with this color. When you're satisfied with the results, let's just go to this folder that you downloaded and let's just go and add some little sparkles. So let's just go to the Unistem brushes and select Sparkle Full Steel Brush. And let's just go and we'll be switching our color into the white color, and we also will use the highlights color too, so you can just switch between these two colors. Adjust the size of your brush and let's just go and add a few little highlights, a few little sparkles with this color. Let's just go and change the size of our brush a little bit, make it a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, switch the brush to the white color and go and add a few of these little sparkles going along the overall shape of your strawberry. Again, try not to overdo it, try to add just a few of these elements to add more interest to the picture. So go along the shapes of your strawberry and add a few of these little sparkles. Take a look at everything from the distance and decide whether you want to adjust some parts or not. So for example, we can just go and make our facial features a little bit bigger just by going to our layers and finding our layer with the facial features. We can see that our layer is alpha locked, so we will firstly need to go tap on it and select alpha lock from the list to turn it off. And then we will need to select this layer that is attached to it. And when we did it, let's just go to our arrow key, uniform method, and let's just go and make our eyes a little bit bigger. Again, just by going to the center and adjusting the overall shape just by making it a little bit bigger. So find the size for your liking, adjust it, tap on the arrow key when you are ready. Take a look at everything from the distance, decide whether it looks better or not. You can experiment, you can find what works for you. You can go outside the shape and add more additional elements by using this folder that you downloaded. Just add a bit of interest right here. And when you are satisfied with everything here, we are done with our illustration. I hope you are proud of your result. Share it on socials and tag me so I can see your beautiful creations. And if you enjoyed this video, you can find more similar kawaii tutorials on my Skillshare or on Patreon at the link in the description. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next tutorial.